If your pet just died and you're searching for answers, you're in the right place. My name's Danielle McKinnon. I'm an animal communicator, and for the past 20 plus years, I've helped thousands of people connect to their pets on the other side. And those pets, what they want their humans to know, it's probably going to surprise you. Now, you're probably sitting here going, but I'm lost. I need to know, did they know how much I loved them? Did I do everything right? What happens next? I'm going to share with you the most important things that our pets on the other side want us to know right now. Not 3 months from now when the grief has settled a little, but right now when this passing is still so raw and so fresh. Here's the thing, and this is probably the first time you ever heard this, but yes, you're going through a huge adjustment period right now, but your pet is also going through their own type of adjustment period. They have to get used to not having a physical body anymore. And while they're doing this, they're a little bit energetically unavailable. I call it going to animal spirit school. But the result when they're in animal spirit school and you're trying to adjust to them not being physically near you is the grief, the loss, the absence is so much bigger. The great thing about this, though, is it's temporary. You and your pet on the other side, you both will adjust. And here's something really cool. Just because your pet has passed doesn't mean that they're not still trying to communicate with you. In fact, you might even be missing some of their messages. Yes, even though they just passed recently. That's why I created my 48 signs down below that you can sign up for to print out and read through and see, hey, am I getting any of these signs? Is any of this happening for me yet? And don't worry, because eventually it will. Let's talk about the second incredible thing that your pet on the other side wants you to know right now. They want you to know that they already know. One of the biggest questions I get in my social media or in my email or in any live that I do, does or did my pet know how much I love them? And here's the thing about all animals, they have mastered unconditional love. Everything that they experience is viewed through the lens of unconditional love. This means that no matter what you did, whether you made a mistake, whether you look back and you have regrets, whether you did something awesome, whether it was just like a moment of hanging out together, they were able to look at you and see you for what's really inside you, not judge you based on how much you did for them, how much you fed them, how many walks you took. Whatever the things are that you're telling yourself could be getting in the way of them understanding how much you love them. Those things don't exist for them. It's usually the animals that are helping us understand about unconditional love and what it really is. So let's talk for a moment about what soul level connection is. I wrote about this in my animal lessons book, but I feel like you need a quick understanding because I'm going to be talking about it quite a bit more in this video. So, our animals come into our lives to help us learn some lesson at the soul level about ourselves. Those lessons are versions of unconditional love. For example, you come in to learn how lovable you are, how worthy and deserving you are, how safe you are in the world, and how just awesome and no matter what, good enough you are. Our pets do things in our lives to elicit emotions, to elicit behaviors in us that get us to look at ourselves. So, this is what I'm referring to when I'm talking about this deep connection that the animals have. They're able to look at us and know everything about us from a bigger perspective than what we do when we're like, oh, you're a brown dog. Oh, you're a loving dog. No, they're looking at us and going, oh, Danielle, you are working on learning in this lifetime about being good enough. And I am going to help you do that. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about the soul level connection and those soul level lessons that your animal is teaching you. We tend to do this human thing where we feel like we never really did it well enough. I could have loved him more. I could have tried harder. I could have not watched TV sometimes and hung out with them, whatever it is. That means that even when you got frustrated with the animal in your life, they knew you loved them. They knew that you are a good person, even when you didn't know it. And here's the next thing your pet on the other side wants you to know right now. Your pet planned their passing. They planned when they were going to pass, how they were going to pass, who was going to be with them. And so, because of that, when we get all up into our human selves, right? And we start going, I should have been there. I should have done that differently. I waited too long. I should have seen that. And we're beating ourselves up. We're just literally getting nowhere because there is a divine plan behind their passing. We have such a hard time connecting with the bigger picture. We have such a hard time with our human brains putting it together. Why would it happen now? Why would it happen that way? Why would it happen when I wasn't there? Why did this have to happen when they were so young, etc.? All right, I know that you're hearing me say they planned this. And I know how hard it is to hear that when your beloved pet passed of something very challenging or upsetting. I have done an entire video about that called Why So Many Animals Suffer that you can watch that may help with that. But for now, what I want you to understand is there's always a bigger plan at play. And yes, it's even when the animal was euthanized or when it happened by an accident or something really, really challenging or horrible. Yes, the plan is even in those moments too. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the person described trying to understand the why like this. Imagine you're looking at needlepoint. The front part of the needlepoint is beautiful. The back part of the needlepoint, you can understand why this string is connecting to that string, is connecting to that string. Like that's all crazy. It looks like a mess. And then you turn it around and you're like, oh, it's a beautiful picture. This is the same thing. We are looking at the back side of the needlepoint when we're trying to understand exactly why it went this way and why this went down and why you weren't there and all of that. I can help you in this way by asking you to ask yourself, what could I possibly learn from this passing of my beloved pet? There's always something in there. Can you find anything in there that you can learn from their passing? They planned it this way on purpose. I'm not asking you to figure out what the picture on the needlepoint is. We know it's a mess from our human perspective, but what could you receive from this passing? That's what they want you to know, that there is a gift in it. Now, this one's a big one. It can be particularly challenging unless you're willing to take a little bit of a risk. And it has to do with how you are going through your grief. Your animal on the other side now, they taught you lessons. They shared soul level lessons with you. They helped you maybe learn how to be more open or how to trust or how to believe in yourself or whatever they helped you to learn. But the things that they're helping you learn through them are the things that they want you to carry forward now and enact with other people. So there are a lot of people who, when their pet passes, they want to hole up and be alone and not talk to anyone because they don't feel like anybody's going to understand. Yeah, I get it. There are a lot of people who think we are crazy because we miss our pet so much. But you know what? There are a lot of people who don't feel that way. Like all the people here on my channel, they don't feel that way. There are people out there who know exactly what to say, and there are plenty of people out there who don't know what to say. For example, when one of my dogs died back in like 2000, I took 3 days off from work. I was devastated. And when I came back to work, my boss said, I feel like you're taking advantage of me because she didn't think that my dog passing was valuable enough for me to take 3 days off from work. So that's not a person I'm going to let in my inner sanctum. So I want to give you a few examples to help you understand if the people you're looking toward for support are truly supporting you, or if they're saying the thing they think is helpful, but it doesn't actually support you. If you feel like you need to make an excuse for what's going on to this person, obviously that's not the person, regardless of how much they want to help. There's so many people who want to help us on our pet loss journey. And yet the things they're saying, it's just an animal, good thing it wasn't your kid. Like all these things that they think are helpful are not helpful. So if there's any part of you that feels like you need to hold back your actual emotions, or any part of you that feels like you want to say this was a human versus an animal that passed, this person isn't safe even if they really, really want to be safe. All that matters here is that you are feeling supported in the way that works for you. And when we're on our pet loss journey, we have to be comfortable speaking up for what we need, not kind of making ourselves small or pretending because so and so thinks they're helping and they're trying to give us advice, they're trying to tell us things we should do, but it's right for them, not for us. So, really important that you look at your emotions, your feelings, what you're saying, what you're not saying when you're with somebody around your pet loss. There are wonderful places that can match your beliefs, that can help you feel like you've got somebody who knows. Your pet trained you for this, right? They trained you in how to experience unconditional love, how to trust another being, how to share your deepest thoughts. They trained you in these things in their relationship with you, and they want for you now to take the risk to try out finding a place where the people get you. Maybe it's not your neighbor. Maybe it's not your family, but I promise it does exist. And you are honoring your pet's memory by putting in action the lessons they taught you about when they were alive. All right, so let's go back to talking about the adjustment period that your pet is going through right now. As they adjust to being purely in spirit, you know what that means? That means their energy, their spirit becomes more available to show up, to give you signs, to visit, to be around and guide you, which is really wonderful because as you move through your grief process, you become more available to receiving those signs. So I know that it's really, really hard right now. And I want you to know that these initial minutes, hours, days, maybe even weeks after your pet has passed, there's really important stuff going on for everybody involved. Now, if you want to make sure that you know when they're showing up, don't forget to get my 48 signs down below. It's in the description. And be sure to watch my next video, What Happens to the Animal Soul when they cross over.